Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here at the Red Brick House, and man, it's another beautiful day. Every day seems to be about upper 80s or so and things, but we're getting AC working at the house, so that's great. I'm so happy about how the gutters look out here. Things I want to make sure we get accomplished. I need to cut the grass with a weed eater out here and hit some of the stuff, at least in the front half or so today. And I'm going to work on getting the downpipe put in here. I've got to dig a trench for this so it'll drain out of here. Another one of the many things that we're going to do today. And then, of course, we want to start trying to plaster the walls. I've already gone through here and started wetting all the walls up here. Last night was great. We ended up doing a late plastering deal. Up here, we went through the bucket of, that's one 5-gallon bucket of finished plaster, and it looks actually pretty good. The thing with finished plaster is it's supposed to be only a credit card thick, and I knew last night when I did some of this that it was going to crack, because this is actually a deep hole. There's a couple of those in here, but looking at this, it's solid. It's plaster, and it looks a whole lot better. If you remember how this used to be, and this was another deep spot that cracked, but when we put the next coat on it, that'll take care of it. You remember there were the cracks that were all throughout here and things, but that looks a heck of a lot better. And we went through, we textured, this is like a sand finish that's on there right now, which will be great for adhering the next coat. Over here, we're gonna try and get this thing put to bed over here today. I'll probably, my problem right now is my wrist and my hand. I don't know if I'm getting arthritis or just overuse, but I can only do that plastering for so long, and literally feels like my arm's gonna drop off. Definitely gonna work on getting that, and I would love to be able to get this railing up on here on this side at least, and maybe between today and tomorrow start using the flooring that's here to level this out, so that way we can get this stuff out. What we need to do now is start working on the process of getting everything out as much as possible. And I've been working on getting rid of anything that we don't need, or get it out of it, because what we want to do is, you know, start from the bathroom, get that finished off, and work your way out. If I could get everything out of here, and that's where we got to get the tile done, we could go through and sand the floors in here and varnish them, and just put plastic up here and say, you know, you're not going to go in there, and be able to get the floor finished. So that way we can say, hey, we've got a finished room in here. And do the same thing downstairs. Now that I got the floor patched down there, we're starting to try and use up all the materials that we need to use up, and get them into storage if we don't need them, or return them if it's something we didn't use. This is, believe it or not, less than what was here, because I used up all the wood flooring out here. But I want to start getting this cleared out, so that way we can be plastering the walls to get that stuff done. My wife's going to be working on the doors. This is the door for here. This is the door for here. This is the door for the closet. And that may become my bedroom door. I've got to see if that one will actually work, or see if we can use it possibly for here, because I need a door here and a door here. So I'm going to get probably sometime today, trim these out. You can see how nice these are looking now that the door has been painted. How nice that's coming along. I do have to make one more shelf to go in here. I think I'm going to put two skinny drawers on here to be able to put spices and stuff in, and do pull-out shelves in the cabinet here as well. Because I'm old, and bending over to get stuff gets to be hard trying to find it in the back. But if you have pull-out shelves, it's all right here. It's easy to get to and have easy access to it. Great thing, the vents like these, they're hooked up. My brother is doing an incredible job getting that stuff together. All the ones on this side of the house are taken care of. So that one's hooked up, that one's hooked up. the one in that room. So it's just the front side that needs to be hooked up. And he is doing an incredible job on that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started and get to work. All right, another day knee deep in this stuff. I'm gonna start mixing up some lime plaster, actually make some lime putty and get that mixed first. Probably try and do some plastering for a couple hours until my arm feels like it drops off, and then it'll come back to something else. It's actually beginning to get a lot easier to do stuff because having electricity, of course, and cut the grass some here and gotten rid of some of the brush and things. We got plenty of space to actually work. But having a hose to be able to put it in there instead of going to get buckets and stuff, I feel like we were in the dark ages, because literally we went over and got buckets and went over to another person's house and brought those buckets back and stuff. But now to have a hose, man, it's kind of crazy. I've cut the grass in the front here, and I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the stuff that we have here right now to make it look better. I'm going to go to the dump later on this morning to get rid of some of this stuff that's here, and just keep whacking at it. That's all you can do. All right, time to make some plaster. All right, so we got a lot of things that are going on, of course. My brother is getting ready for his inspection for tomorrow for the HVAC. We were trying to do it today, but we put it off one more day to make sure everything was buttoned up perfect. I've been mixing the plaster, and you can see here, I've got, they're not completely full, because if you make it too full, it's going to spray all over the place. 2 bags of hydrated lime gave me basically 4 or 5 gallon buckets, minus about a half a gallon or so. So you mix that about 3 to 1 with the sand, and that gives us our plaster. So with 4 buckets, that's another 12, so about 16 buckets worth of plaster, which is a good bit. That may be close to enough for the sand coat to go on. Also, my buddy, who ended up taking care of the top of the siding and stuff for me, who has no fears, unlike me, my hands sweat so much I can hear the water in it, is going to take care of replacing the fascia, the soffit end here, up here, and put up the metal on here. This is something that has looked like holy hell for a long time, so this will be a major change right there. It's coming together bit by bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting my sand in here and start mixing this plaster. Whew. Alrighty, so I've been plastering. I'm taking a break from plastering for now, and I'm actually working. This is the handrail that used to be right up here, and I'm working on getting this together. So I'm sanding this out because we're probably going to stain and varnish this. Come to find out, this is cherry. Now, it has been beat up a lot all the years and stuff, and I think I have some cherry in my workshop that I'll be able to match this up. It's actually a very simplistic handrail, and I'll make one that'll go here to the post. Excuse me. But make it so it's removable, so that way if we have to bring something up the steps, we can take it down and put it back up. But then people who come upstairs, because we do have a lot of older people that have been coming in, they'll have a handrail to go with. So right now I'm sanding this off with a 100 grit to get the paint off of it real carefully, and not staying in a spot for too long, because we don't want this to have flat spots. Then I'll do 120 and 150 and 180 on it. I'm walking back from the hardware store, and it really hits me right now, because I've been looking at this piece of wood and piece of flashing that's been up there forever, and just fixing something small like that makes it look so much better. And between getting the gutters on, let's take as we walk up here. That piece up the top, what a difference that makes on the house, getting that squared away, along with the gutters and the front porch. Yeah, she's come a long way, baby. All right, so we're taking a break. I'm ready to go back out and work on the plaster some more. Mix some more so I can finish this off. But I wanted to go ahead and start the process of this handrail. And sanding it out, of course, we found out it's cherry. Problem is, there's a lot of nail holes in it. So we got some cherry stain. See how it would look. Unfortunately, where the nail holes are, it just looks like pimples. With the red mahogany stain, it actually will hide those better. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to sand this with the 180 grit sandpaper, and we're going to go ahead and stain this red mahogany. So it'll match, it'll have the red undertones, and hopefully it'll give us the look that we're looking for. Hopefully. Wow. So my bride has cleaned up this room like was like amazing. Getting the toolboxes and some of the stuff out of here, the place is beginning to really feel bigger, a lot bigger. And wow, it's getting to be nice in here. Yeah, I'm gonna wet down the walls up here and start mixing some more plaster. I'm gonna do one more load of plaster and see how far I get. I have sanded this. I just had one more nail hole right there. And I've sanded it with 180, and I'll do a final 220 on it. And we're gonna stain it that red mahogany on here, and then we're gonna put spar urethane. We're gonna do that before we go ahead and do the other stuff. And I've got to do some work on the post over here. You can see there's a little crack, I think, in the base, but we're going to do some work to really tighten this thing up. We're going to put a solid piece in here to be able to bolt it together to make it a lot stronger than what it is right now, because we want to make sure this bad boy ain't going nowhere. Let's go check in on my brother and see how he's making out on the HVAC. It is cool downstairs. It's in this, oh my God. I can feel the air blowing down here. See, that's a wise man. That's when you know you're cool. See, here's where the difficulty of this is when you're working in a house like that. Oh, wow. I feel like I'm behind a jet engine right now, being blown out. But coming through here, this is right where I'm getting ready to plaster upstairs. This vent has to go in and carry behind all these beams that we put in and tap into that. And they also have to be insulated, because if they're not, they will sweat. And see, like you have this one. Now, this is where having family has its advantages, because a lot of companies, what they would have done is they would have just used flex. And let me show you what I'm talking about, flex. This, my friends, is flex duct. There's nothing wrong with it. What it has inside of it, it has insulation, which is good, and somewhere in there, I'm trying to find it, I'm sticking my hand in an insulation thing. Ah, here it is. Okay. My brother's looking at me like I'm crazy, because basically I am. Hold on. You stay right. All right, after trying to dig into that sucker. Okay, so this is flex duct, which is nothing wrong with it. It's just not as efficient, right? It's great if you're the installer, because you can just kind of drape it and pull it through here and boom, connect it, and it's real easy. But here's the thing, velocity wise, every 90 degrees is like 10 feet of duct. So if you have a piece that's kind of sagging, and some of you, I've been in one lady's house, it literally looked like an octopus. They had a trunk line and they had all the taps up high and they just kind of draped on down through it. It's not real efficient. So you're spending a lot of your money just trying to push the air. Having round duct like this, it's a straight shot and it's smooth, so there's less drag. When it goes through, it pressurizes and makes a much more energy efficient system. And you see how here, how neat he is doing the duct wrap, as well as putting duct seal on here, so you're not losing any velocity. You were telling me about when you were doing at a military base.
Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, Camp Lejeune. You getting in on the?
No, I came there after the.
Okay,
the
I guess
war.
that's fortunate that you came in after.
Yeah.
I guess yes. But you were talking about the pressurization that you had to do on the duct itself.
Yeah. They had pressure specs, and no one had met the pressure specs, so they had to get an adjustment on their payment.
So they had to seal it up like it's like a water line. So
I told them to seal it up like it's a space shuttle.
Okay, there you go.
Pressure tested it. We had we bought our own pressure tester to pre-test it, and then when we pumped it up and we saw how much leakage we had, we would go around with duct sealer and paintbrushes and seal up again so that it leaked less than a toilet exhaust fan, and it was a 12,000 CFM.
Wow.
It was like,
That's a lot of pressure.
10-ton unit, 15-ton unit. Yeah.
Give you an example. This is a 2-ton unit right here. So 6 times the capacity of this one. And I know you're not. That's the pressure that's in here. So he's getting this stuff ready. Tomorrow we'll have the inspection. Look at that. See, you don't get that with just anybody. You see how he is literally folding the insulation inside of it and then gonna tape it up in there? Man, gotta take care of him at Christmas for sure. All right, I gotta go back to the plaster. That's almost ready. Thank you very much, Rondo.
You're welcome.
It looks fantastic and feels even better. Good morning, good people. Man, last night ended up being till about 12 o'clock last night. I was too tired to do a finished video. But we've got a mid-morning inspection today on the house. Hopefully all that'll go well on the mechanical. It's a new day, and we'll see how that goes. We'll need to get my brother back up the road today. He's got another job he's got to do tomorrow. We got to pick up the equipment. So mid-morning inspection. Wish us luck.